Hi there, I'm Captain Tyler Capella and welcome to the Waterman's Way channel. So today I'm going to show you how to properly tie an FG knot. You know, there's a million videos out there of how to tie an FG knot. However, the way that most of them show you how to do it, it's going to inevitably start falling apart after 50 or 100 casts. And when it starts to unravel, if you hook a big fish, that might just be the fish of a lifetime getting away. So I'm going to show you a little trick on how to finish an FG knot as well. That's going to keep it on there. You can use it for days and days, even throwing big giant lures like this for GTs or whatever. So let's first talk about what makes an FG knot such a superior knot and one that you really need to know. And then I'm going to show you how to tie it. Let's go, baby. FG knot coming right up.
Oh, Kubera!
Kubera, yeah.
Kubera!
So before we even jump into how to tie an FG knot, it's important to know why this is such a good knot for you to know, okay? So this is an FG knot right here. First of all, look how small it is. You can barely see it, right? That's because there's actually no bend or knot in the leader line itself. It's basically a Chinese finger trap that just kind of grips down onto the leader material like this, makes it super small, allows you to reel the leader knot into the guides and cast it super far and super smooth. This one's going to slide through the guides better than anything. It's also one of the only knots out there that's over 100% breaking strength, like your Albrights, your flood knots, your uni knots. That is a weak point in the system. In this system right here, there is no weak point. That's why it's the go-to for so many types of fishing. I use this knot religiously for casting big lures, jigging, slow pitch jigging offshore, bottom fishing with a top shot, tarpon fishing, permit, you name it. The FG knot is the only way to go. So let's jump into it, how to tie an improved FG knot. Here we go.
All right, so you'll want to make sure that you have enough tension on your line, and you can achieve that by putting a rod in the rod holder and then holding the tag end of the line of the braid in your mouth. Then you take the leader part and you wrap it one time over the top towards you, and then wrap it over the top and around away from you. And then with tension on the line, wrap it around towards you, and then wrap it around away from you. Just like that. And you want to make sure you keep plenty of tension, and then do this 18 times is the magic number. This forms the Chinese finger trap portion of the knot. So if you do it too many times, these little wraps will not tighten down. So you want to make sure you don't do it more than 18 times or so. Now there's the Chinese finger trap. You can see it kind of forming right there. Now the rest of the knot, you're essentially just finishing it. So here's how you finish it right here. You pinch the entire knot so it doesn't slip off. Then you take your tag end and trim it so you have about a foot left, and then you want to make sure that you always wet your knots. That'll help it cinch down better. Then take your tag end and wrap it around both the tag end of the leader and your main line with a simple overhand knot, just like that. So that's going to lock your wraps in and complete the knot, and now we just have to finish it off. So the trick with this knot is to pull everything extremely hard. You want to pull on all the tags. That's going to keep that knot nice and straight. And when you pull the knot down just like this, you're going to watch all these wraps cinch down on each other and grip that leader line. So the real trick to this knot is to make sure you're pulling on all your tags and all of your lines really hard to make sure it cinches down as tight as possible. Notice I'm pulling away with the pliers, and that's going to help that knot really straighten out right there so it's nice and straight. It doesn't have any bends in it. Once that thing is super tight, you want to go ahead and start doing more overhand knots around the tag end of the leader and the main line, just like we did to kind of lock that knot in place. So we're going to do 5 of these. So that's 3 there, and 4 and 5, and that locks that in. It looks really neat and tidy. The next step is to take the tag end of the leader that's sticking out of the top of the knot and trim it. So we're going to trim that thing down with a pair of pliers, and you want to leave just under maybe ½ centimeter of leader sticking out of the top, because now what we're going to do is burn this line down. It's going to help it stay on there. Now you can use a lighter, but a cast line burner is way better. These things actually have an electrode. It's going to precisely burn that line down. So to protect the line, you go ahead and wet the knot and all the line around it, and then use the electrodes to precisely burn that little piece of fluorocarbon down. And then once it's close, kind of touch it up. And make sure you pull the tag, pull the main line a few times, and make sure it's getting neat and tidy and is super cinched down. Now, a lot of people would say this knot is done, but not me, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and finish this knot off and make it last for hundreds and hundreds of casts and not fall apart. So you take the tag end and you wrap it over the main line and then pull it down into the FG knot. And we're gonna do that 3 times. Of course, you wanna do this with a nice wet line, make sure it's nice and wet, but you're gonna do 3 times around the top of this with just a simple overhand knot that cinches everything down into itself so it won't fall apart. And now to finish the knot, we do what's called a rizzuto finish, which is basically a fancy word for a 5-turn overhand knot, which is what I just did there. Very, very simple. And then you're going to take that loop that you just made and start unwrapping itself and making those coils as you unwrap it really tight down against the knot. So watch, it's a little hard to explain, but just check it out. So rizzuto finish, you're unwrapping the knot, and notice the wraps closest to the FG knot itself are super, super tight as you're unwrapping it. Basically, yeah, right there. Basically, the purpose of this is to make sure that when you pull that tag end through, those wraps are going to be as tight as they possibly can to ensure they're not going to slip anywhere. So watch, I'm pulling the tag end down and it cinches down perfectly. So you can see a little chunk of excess fluorocarbon that I melted earlier fell off the knot. That's not going to hurt anything at all. Then all you have to do is just wet the knot and pull it down as tight as you possibly can. And if you look closely here, you can actually see how that rizzuto finish forms like an arrow or a rocket shape on the tip of the knot. That's going to help it further just slide right through the guides and really go through there better than any single knot out there. Now, to absolutely finish this thing up, you give it a trim. Now, you can leave it like this. However, I like to take that cast line burner and just tidy this thing up. Burn those little bits down, melt that tag end right onto the knot, making sure not to hurt any of the main line or anything after you're done, and it is finished. You can see how this thing is going to just slide right through the guides. It's 100% knot. It's super small, very strong. It doesn't get any better than this. The improved FG knot.
All right, and there you have it. So with a little bit of practice, you should be able to tie this knot within about 1 minute to 2 minutes, and it is well worth the little bit of extra time it takes. Should give you the confidence to go out there and catch some big giant fish and know your connections are solid. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I could show you a thing or two about tying the improved FG knot. If you like what you see, just like and subscribe. I got a lot of great fishing content coming at you. Tarpon series coming at you, a lot of crazy exotic adventure stuff. Go check out my other videos, and thank you so much for watching. We will catch you on the next one.